good? Aaron, you good?
Everybody good? All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me here this afternoon. But first of all, I want to be clear and make this crystal clear that the Fulton County Board of Registration and Elections, they conduct elections in Fulton County and not the Board of Commissioners. We have a new Board of Registration and Elections. It's made up of 2 members appointed by the Republican Party of Fulton County, 2 members appointed by the Democratic Party of Fulton County, and the Board of Commissioners. We choose the chair of that board. It's a new board in place, and I think that they're going to do great work. This upcoming election will be their first election. I'm excited about and certainly anticipate that they will continue to do good work for Fulton County. Now, today's report, top of the fold on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, really was a wake-up call for me. But it was simply a validation of my belief in my public statements all along that the end game of the big lie was a takeover of our elections in Fulton County, all for the purpose of being ready to take over the elections in 2022 and 2024. For weeks now, I've said that it appears that our Secretary of State and his conspiracy theorists, his comrades, have been laying the groundwork for a hostile takeover of our elections. Now, it's clear that the big lie has even spread to the General Assembly and even infected some members who I have good working relationships with, professional relationships, causing them to assist in and call for a hostile takeover of elections in Fulton County. So I want to be real clear that this is not a personal issue to me. This is not me being able to put aside my own feelings, but I will continue to fight for Fulton County and standing up even to former President Donald Trump and his big lie that has come down to Georgia. This is not personal, it's partisan. And because that's what this is all about, they may try to hide behind some facade of alleged small-scale mistakes, like the Secretary of State does, but the basis for all of this is partisan politics and appeasing those who buy into the big lie. I've been involved in a number of elections throughout my political career, and there has never been a perfect election. So a mistake here or there is not uncommon, not unheard of. And I've said from the first day that the lies about Fulton County started, if you have any credible evidence whatsoever, bring it to me, anything that will suggest some widespread wrongdoing here in Fulton County, bring it to me. Otherwise, once again, put up or shut up. They don't want you to know that the votes were counted 3 times. One time by hand, with no evidence whatsoever, not one iota of any malfeasance. They don't want you to know that our elections process was monitored by the Secretary of State's office and observers from both political parties with no evidence of intentional wrongdoing. In fact, Secretary of State even praised us for our election last year. Fast forward, now we're the worst thing in the world. What is it? You can't have it both ways, Mr. Secretary of State. We did a good job, we did a bad job. I understand politics as well as anybody. Now, he had problems within his party, trying to save face, trying to win favor in order to save his own political hide next year. Don't think it's going to work, but I understand why he's doing it. They're trying to set the stage for a hostile takeover of our election system because they want a political win to appease believers of the big lie, which has been my greatest fear since Senate Bill 202 passed. Now, you'll recall that there's a lot in Senate Bill 202, but I, as chairman of the Board of Commissioners of Fulton County, I focused on 3 areas. Number 1, our mobile voting units. Number 2, the use of drop boxes. But number 3, and most disturbing at the time was, which is why I'm here today, the fact that it sets the stage for a possible hostile takeover, and that is exactly what we are witnessing today. But I'm prepared to fight for Fulton and our voters until the very, very end. I can't let them get away with this in broad daylight without a fight, and I'm not going to do it. Because if they can do this to us here in Fulton County, the largest in the state with a target on our back, they can do it to any of the other 158 counties in our great state. And if political games are the reason they decide to take over, who knows what will happen once they're in. We could lose control over our elections to conspiracy theorists ahead of the midterms. This is an all hands on deck, 5-alarm fire, and I'm not backing down from this fight for Fulton County, Georgia. Thank you. Any questions?
Yes, Chairman Pitts, are there any other evidence beyond today's news report from the AJC that you personally have seen that makes you believe that this is a political hostile takeover?
It has been from the day that it passed, and I've read that bill more than one time, looking at Senate Bill 202, and I'm pretty politically astute, and I could see I saw at that point in time that I know what this is going to be about. And so there's been baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Now here's a giant step. It's no longer in the dark.
What are some of the baby steps, and what do you propose doing?
Just the statements that have been made by the Secretary of State and others, innuendo and insinuating there are problems here. So any little mistake, it only takes 2 senators and two representatives to call this, to get the ball rolling for this takeover. So that's what I've been monitoring and watching. And again, that headline today, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. This is validation what I've been saying to the media and to the public, but specifically to the people in Fulton County.
Do you think they have those 2 senators, senators of Republic?
I don't think there's any doubt that they'll have 2 people to step forward. There's some that were mentioned in the article, friends of mine, very good friends. But that's why I understand politics. So that's why I say this isn't personal for me. It's partisan. It's not personal. It's partisan. I'm a big boy, and I understand, but I am not going to stand by and let Fulton County's name be dragged through the mud as a result of partisan politics.
One last question. What can be done at this point? What can you as a...
We are reviewing all of our options now. We're watching what's going on. We have our legal department, internal legal department, and even outside looking at exploring what our options are.
Any possible idea of what some options could be?
Well, I do have some options, but I'm not going to let you know what our strategy is today. But yeah, we're not going down without a fight. As long as I'm chair of the Board of Commissioners of Fulton County, we will fight, 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 and there won't be an end. This is going. Keep in mind, I want to make this crystal clear. This is all about laying the groundwork for elections in 2022 and 2024. If you can continue to raise doubt in the minds of the voters, well, why vote? This is not important. My vote's not going to count anyway. It's crooked. The eyes and ears of the world were on Georgia and specifically Fulton County in 2020. The eyes and ears of the world are going to be on Fulton County in 2024. We're prepared. I'm prepared to fight.
You said outside counsel is reviewing this. Which firm?
Well, I won't go into any of our strategy. That's to say that all options are on the table, and we do have our legal counsel inside and outside looking at what our options are. And in fact, in addition to that, I get calls from friends who are attorneys who say, I want to help, I want to help. We see what this is. And as one put it, as I put it too, Ray Charles can see this.
To that point, have you heard from any legislators who have changed their minds over the last 24 hours, one way or the other?
Not one, not one. This is so clear. I mean, it's a beautiful strategy. I understand politics. You got to realize what's at stake for 2022 in particular, more so than 2024. The Warnock race is important. That race will determine the direction or change in direction for the United States of America and therefore the world. So that's why this is so important. That's why that Senate seat is going to be so important. That's why Georgia is going to be so important. That's why Fulton County, the largest county in the state of Georgia, where the action is going to be here, and again, the eyes and ears of the world will be focused right here on Fulton County, Georgia. Again, our elections in 2020, they were open, they were fair, and they're transparent. The upcoming elections, municipal elections, will be open, fair, and transparent. The elections in 2022 will be open, fair, and transparent. And in 2024, the elections will be open, fair, and transparent, period. So this nonsense has to stop. The big lie has come from Washington, back to Georgia, back to Fulton County. Where does it end? It's a beautiful strategy, but it's not going to work.
Have you heard from federal folks either wanting to help you or offer advice?
No one federal to date. We have heard from different organizations, activist organizations who have been following this, and they say, we're with you, we understand, and we're going to be with you every step of the way.
It seems like the Secretary of State is worried about the leadership of the county elections. Do you think if there was a leadership change, that would be enough to keep the state from doing a takeover, or is it too late?
Absolutely not. I don't think it has one iota to do with it. And again, it's a question of credible evidence. Where is it? Bring me something. Show me something. Anything other than 200 votes. Human error. No perfect election ever. Yes.
Stanley Bell at the Georgia Recorder, and even the Secretary of Ravensburgers and others have cited this past election, I guess, for potentially looking at the takeover and whether that would occur. But they've also cited like systemic problems that they say dates back 2 decades in Fulton County. What's your response to them saying that this has been a
Poppycock. Nonsense. No perfect election. Ever. Human error here and there? Absolutely. Fulton County? Yes. Jones County, where I'm from? Yes. Chatham County? Yes. You name it. It's possible anywhere. No widespread, orchestrated, hanky-panky in Fulton County. Period.
Will there be
One more question. What do you think, if they did try to appoint someone to take over in a new board, what do you think that will look like, and what do you think would be the issues that could arise from that, say, next year if it happens?
Well, who knows what the game plan is? If they were get to that point, who knows what the game plan is? Will they want to bring in a new elections director? And if that happens, Lord help us. But that's not going to happen. It's not going to get to that point as long as I'm chair of the Board of Commissioners of Fulton County, and I will be able to do anything that I can to assist the group, the Board of Registration and Elections, that is the organization that handles elections here in Fulton County. And I go back to last year, if you followed the elections, the Secretary of State himself and his lieutenants, they praised Fulton County, Georgia for a job well done. So what's happened since then to now? Other than the fact that he fell out of favor with the president, with his party, has huge, tremendous, significant primary opposition, and therefore doing everything he can to curry favor with them and have them support him. I don't think it's going to work for him. That's a good strategy on his part, but I don't think it's going to work. It's too late, too little, too late for him. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to make clear, will there be changes? The Secretary of State has asked that the top 2 Elections Board officials be removed. Is that going to happen? Are you expecting that to happen, or is that likely to happen?
I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm just really getting prepared for what I think is going to be the end result of all of these shenanigans that have been going on and continue to go on.
Do you think there's anything you can do stop this?
other than to keep the public aware and, again, exploring our legal options. I mean, the die has been cast at the legislature. They voted, it's a legal, SB 202 has been passed, it's been signed by the governor, it's in effect, and it's not, I mean, they're not gonna change it. So there are various lawsuits attacking parts of it, various parts of it. I pointed out the 3 parts that I was concerned about, and the reason I focused in, once again, on the section that dealt with the provisions for a takeover was because even though it's Fulton County today, it could be any other county tomorrow. But we're the largest, it's a Democratic county, so it's very easy to see what's going on and to see what was going on when it was passed. All right, thank y'all very much.
You can